opinions of KYOK Radio, its sponsors, staff, or management.
You walk out on that field today. Ask yourself this question. What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Let's go! We ready! We ready! We ready! We ready! I'm going to the house! I'm going to the house! When I step on the field, I send one message. This is what it feels like. This is what it feels like. Football is getting hit. That's it. It's gonna be football now. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Let's hunt now. Let's hunt now. Let's go. Let's hunt. We ready? I'm going to the house. I'm going to the house. We're talking about the Jets like we're talking about the Saints. You know, all this, how we the Miami Heat of football. Yeah. The bottom line is you got to buckle up your chin straps. It's embarrassing. Yeah. Don't disrespect the game like that. There's too much crying from him. He's a man. He can be a hit just like us. He's a man. You already make the big money. He's a man. Don't cry when you step on the field, man. That's who I is. When I step on the field, I send one message. This is what it feels like. Oh, my bad. Your bad don't work in my world. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. We ready? I'm going to the house. I'm going to the house. It's a wrap. Game over.
Oh, no, game is just getting started right here on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK and the all-new 92.3 FM. It is our Throwback Thursday, and a lot going on in the world of sports, and a lot of it right here in Houston as the two superstars for the Houston Rockets, James Harden and Russell Westbrook, have expressed their concerns about the direction of the organization. And then we get word that Russell Westbrook wants out. He wants to be traded. And the question will be whether or not the Rockets will facilitate his request. I do know that the New York Knicks and the Los Angeles Clippers have both been interested in trading for Westbrook. So we'll see what comes of that. And, you know, the Rockets don't have any obligation to trade him. We'll see what they decide to do, though. We will see what they decide to do. So to help make sense of all that, later on in the show, we'll be joined by Kris Gardner, founder of Houston Roundball Review. He'll be on today to help us kind of break some of that down. Of course, the NBA trade or make that the free agency period for the NBA opens up on, I got the wrong piece of paper here. Oh, yeah. I got it right here. November the 20th, 5 o'clock p.m. our time. 5 o'clock p.m. our time is when free agency starts. That's where the Rockets got to rebuild their team. They have no draft picks unless they make a trade for draft picks, and I doubt that would be for this upcoming draft. And then the season starts on December the 22nd. So those are the dates that we have before us when we'll see what's going on with the Houston Rockets. So George Springer, leadoff hitter, playoff hero, has turned down the Astros qualifying offer of 1 year, $18.9 million, and becomes a free agent, but he could re-sign with the team. This is going to be an interesting year to see who has what kind of money, and I know the teams that could use him probably have an interest in him, like the New York Yankees, like the Boston Red Sox. I don't know if the Dodgers would be in play for him. I don't know about Washington, don't know about Tampa, but, you know, those teams might be a little cash strapped. So you might see George Springer back in Houston. But, if there's one guy that I want to get his money, it's George Springer. Not Josh Reddick, but, other guys have gotten their money, but now Springer's in a situation where he might not get his because of COVID. I don't like it. I want Springer to get his money. None of any of that happens without George Springer. None of it. None of the World Series, none of the playoff victories, none of that happens without George Springer. Even this year, none of it happens without George Springer. So I want him to get his money. I don't want him to have to take a hometown discount just because there's not a lot of money out there due to COVID. So I hope something comes through for him. I'd like to see him back in Houston, but I want to see the best for the young man. If folks are running around talking about J.J. Watt he deserves to be traded to a contender, then George Springer deserves to be in a situation where he can get his money. That's just the way I feel about it. You have to agree with me. It wasn't a debatable comment. It was what I feel versus what other folks are saying. I love what Ferdinand said the other day. Hey, these are my opinions, not our opinions. And I respect that. So I want Springer to get his cash. Garrick Jones, what's up, brother? Got to get you back on the show so we can talk about what's happening with you and the push to become the general manager for the Houston Texans. They desperately need you. It's no longer a question. It's no longer an if. It should be a win. When are they going to make the announcement that Garrick Jones is the new general manager of the Houston Texans? That's my statement. All right, so you got that. And then, of course, it is our HBCU throwback. I dropped over to African Imports where Opie hooked me up with a Southern University, my latest gear from Southern University, and it's even got all of the HBCUs on the back, all of them on the back. So we'll be talking about Southern University throughout the show, but that's what we got for you today. Let me take my first break. We'll be right back with more right here on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK and the all-new 92.3 FM.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's AJ Jones with the lunch break on the legendary KYOK AM 1140 and 92.3 FM. It's that time of year when we are reminded of all the things we should be thankful for and that it's more blessed to give than to receive. So with that in mind, on Wednesdays from now through Christmas, we'll give you a chance to win a gift certificate from Butterball. That's right, you can win a gift certificate for a Butterball turkey on Wednesdays on the lunch break between 12 and 2. Just be the right caller, and your Butterball turkey will be on us at the legendary KYOK AM 1140 at 92.3.
I am a non-attorney spokesperson representing a team of lawyers who've helped people that have been injured or wronged. Have you been diagnosed with cancer? Are you one of the millions who have taken Zantac or other generic versions of this popular drug to help treat stomach issues? Then pay close attention to this message. The FDA said it detected low levels of a probable cancer-causing chemical known as NDMA in Zantac and other generic forms of this popular drug. They've banned sales and even removed it from the market. If you've been diagnosed with cancer and you've taken Zantac or a generic equivalent, call the legal helpline now. You could receive a free cash award and have your medical expenses covered. And there's no upfront cost to you. They only get paid if you win. So please call now. 800-251-7816. 800-251-7816. 800-251-7816. That's 800-251-7816.
The legendary KYOK 1140 AM and 92.3 FM. The legend continues.
Hi, this is TJ from South Park. I listen to the lunch break with AJ Jones on 1140 AM and 92.3 FM.
All right, y'all, back here on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK and the all-new 92.3 FM. It's our Throwback Thursday, and let me go to the phone line where 1/3 of the sports fellas is standing by. It's none other than Dr. Aki Davis. Dr. Aki, how you doing, man?
I'm good, AJ. How you doing, man?
Hey, man, I'm doing good. Love seeing you out there grinding in those streets, pushing the books, man. And let me just say this to you real quick. Don't you dare complain about what's going on your Instagram account. I see what you like.
What do you mean complain about my Instagram?
Yeah, man. You know how you were, AJ, I don't know where some of these people came from on my Instagram account.
No. I don't. If you see any woman that's half-dressed on my Instagram account, I guarantee you I didn't follow them.
Okay, and when you ran into them while you were pushing your books, what happened?
That's different. That's like and that support system, and it is what it is.
Yeah, man. Hey, listen, bro. Hey, listen. I just want to tell you, I ain't mad at you. Don't hate the player. You gotta hate the game.
That's right, AJ. I mean, I'm not out here really playing, man. I'm just out here doing me, man, trying to take it a day at a time, and just like out here, just like getting back and trying to get back used to pushing myself.
Yeah. But at least you were masked up, and I'm proud of you, man. Keep doing what you're doing, bro. I mean it. Yeah. All joking aside, I'm proud of you, man. Get your coins, push your business.
Yes, sir. I have to do that. I mean, I just, I mask up, and then I take all my immunity vitamins and all my vitamins and stuff like that, and work out, because I was getting a little lazy pre-corona.
Man, I tell you what, I went to the doctor today, and there were like 6 extra pounds that I didn't have last week, and I've been dealing with a little injury because I was working out and haven't been able to get out there and work out, haven't been able to get out and run my 3 miles. And, bro, I was mad about it. I want those 6 pounds off of me. I'm for real, bro.
That's just 6 pounds, AJ. It's going to go up and down at our age.
I don't want it to. I don't want it to, man. When you my age and listen, and I'm in your neck of the woods. I'm single and all that, bro. I gotta get it together, man. Don't nobody want you when you're over 50 and fat,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
I'm in the same boat. I gotta stay in good shape because it's like I want the the best that's out there for me.
Well, we've been trying to get you hooked up for a long time, so we'll see, bro. We'll see.
Yeah, that ain't been happening for me, AJ. But that's all good, man. It all happens in God's time, man.
Well, brother, tell me what's going on with these Houston Rockets. What's going on? First, we heard that Russell Westbrook and James Harden were concerned about the direction of the organization. Then we hear Russell Westbrook wants out and wants to be traded. Then we hear James Harden is fully committed to the organization. What's going on?
Well, you remember I posted that James Harden and Russell Westbrook had a falling out. Even the beef got so bad the mamas got into it.
Right, I remember.
Yeah, so it's like the Rockets organization is in total chaos right now. It's like nobody really know what's going on. I can't even rely on a source right now. That's how bad it is. Nobody really has the nuts and bolts of what's going on. I've even heard like Kendrick Perkins say something like, Harden had talking to the Rockets management in weeks.
Man, that's not.
Now, I don't know if that's true or what it is. I know that Russell Westbrook and Harden would prefer John Lucas to be the head coach.
Right, I knew that, and I knew that Harden wanted Tyronn Lue.
Right.
But I mean, come on, man. I mean, you can want everything you want. You're just not gonna get it all the time. You mean these grown men aren't grown enough to accept what the organization decided?
Well, you look at that, and it's like it's twofold. It's like Russell Westbrook is average triple doubles. Harden's put up amazing numbers, like numbers we may never see again. But neither one of you guys have won a championship. You can't put out demands on an organization until you win a championship. You kind of got to buy into what's being given to you.
Right. If
you hadn't won a championship, I don't care what numbers you're putting up.
Right. No, I agree with you wholeheartedly. And now here's my next statement. We got Dr. Aki Davis joining us here on the lunch break, trying to make sense of this Harden Westbrook situation with the Rockets. When are we going to figure out that it's not Dwight Howard, it's not Chris Paul, it's not Russell Westbrook, it's James Harden?
I don't think the Rockets would do that. I don't think they would ever want to admit that. They want to feel like they stole James Harden from Oklahoma City. He's a great player. They just got to put the right pieces around him, and it's everybody else's fault. I don't ever think they will point the finger at James Harden.
Bro, I'm sorry. You don't want to be the king of denial. You don't want to be the king of denial. And
well, that's what they're in. That's what they're in.
Then you just confirm that Rocket fans, we're going to keep getting what we've been getting, because the organization won't look the beard in the face and say, bruh, it's not them, it's you.
Right. Nobody's going to say, hey, look, James, knock down 25, lose 25 more pounds. We We need more of a commitment on defense. We need more ball movement from you. We need more leadership, and they're not going to do that to him. It's like, as long as you give us 33 points a game or whatever, 7 assists and 8 rebounds, we're just going to turn the other cheek.
I don't like it. I don't like it, brother. It doesn't make sense. I mean, like you said, the dude has never won a championship. He has been to the Western Conference Finals. He's been the number 1 seed in the West. They've made it to the playoffs consistently, but that's it. And I'm sorry. I know a lot of folks say, man, that's good for most organizations. This is the Houston Rockets. They haven't won anything since 94, 95. And
right.
It's time. This organization supposedly was not settling for mediocrity when they start making all these big moves. And now you've had a complete changeover with Daryl Morey being gone, Mike D'Antoni being gone. You've got players that are gone. And now you're questioning the direction of the organization?
It is pretty deep because of if you listen to Kendrick Perkins, he says Harden didn't even return Stephen Silas' call. He don't want to hear what he has to say.
Well, you know what? If I'm not Daryl Morey, if I'm Tillman Fertitta, I make one phone call and I say these words: "What would you give me for James Harden?" And I hang up the phone. And do you know that would spread around the league that James Harden is available and the Rockets are shopping him around? And I guarantee you that one of those 29 other phone calls, and he's going to get 29 other phone calls, one of them is going to be a deal that he can't refuse. And it might be time for the Houston Rockets to go ahead and go in a different direction.
I agree with you. It's like you have to I understand a player having an ego. I understand a player feel like that, that they deserve to have input in the organization. But when you haven't won a championship, you don't have nothing backing you. Stats mean nothing without the chips. That means nothing. So
no, that's true.
You can't come in and demand the things that LeBron demands because you're not LeBron James. You haven't won the championships. You don't have that kind of. You don't have that DNA yet. We haven't seen that DNA from you.
Michael Jordan was able to look the owner of the Golden State Warriors in the face and laugh and say 73-9 don't mean a thing because you don't have that ring. And I cleaned it up for him. And there was nothing that the owner could say. He had a hat on that said 73-9. And Jordan laughed at him like he was a clown.
Right. And,
they respect each other. But Jordan laughed at him like he was a clown because he said it don't mean a thing if you don't have the ring. All those scoring titles, all those, one MVP, all those accomplishments and things that nobody had ever done since Wilt Chamberlain, none of that means anything if you don't have that ring.
The same thing Beyonce said a long time ago, if you like it, put a ring on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do. Stay right there, man. Let me take a quick break. We'll come back with Dr. Aki Davis right here on the lunch break, giving us good news. Glad he dropped in on us. And hey, y'all got to get his book too. Y'all got to get his book. I'll let him tell you about that before he goes. All right, we'll be right back right after this on the lunch break.
Legendary KYOK 1140 AM. The legendary KYOK 92.3 FM. Radio stations in Mon.
You're home. You're a diabetic. You need supplies, but you don't want to visit the pharmacy. What do? Call US Med for home delivery of your supplies. If you have diabetes and you're worried about going to a crowded pharmacy, pick up the phone in the safety and comfort of your home and let US Med deliver them to you with free shipping. And now if you test your blood sugar 4 more times a day and inject insulin 3 or more times a day, you may qualify to get a new continuous glucose monitor at little or no cost, which may eliminate the pain of pricking your fingers and helps you make smarter diabetes decisions. Plus, we'll send you a 90-day supply and bill your insurance company for you. Get some peace of mind. Call US Med today.
800-417-0851. 800-417-0851. That's 800-417-0851.
Let's be honest, wheelchairs are heavy, bulky, and ugly. If you carry a wheelchair in your car to take care of a loved one, you know how hard it is getting that clunky, old-style wheelchair in and out of your car. Introducing the Feather Chair Wheelchair. At 13 pounds, it's the world's lightest wheelchair. It folds in seconds and fits neatly in your trunk, backseat, or closet, so you can take it everywhere. And it's only available right here. Order yours today and get a free wheelchair case, a $50 value, yours free. The Feather Chair, the world's lightest wheelchair, is just $4.99 with easy payments as low as $16 a month. Sorry, no Medicare or insurance accepted. So call right now to order yours.
800-262-4690. 800-262-4690. 800-262-4690. That's 800-262-4690.
Hi, I'm Larry Scott, host of the Not So Christian and Me Show. Join me Saturdays for great fun, interviews, music, and the latest news surrounding our world today. We are the show that cares to hear your voice and opinion with real conversation in a no judgment zone. So join me Saturdays from 1 to 2 p.m. on the Not So Christian and Me Show, right here on the legendary KYOK Radio, 1140 AM, and the all-new 92.3 FM at KYOKradio.org.
Hi, this is Sonia from Southeast Houston, and you're listening to The Lunch Break on 92.3 and KYOK.
All right, y'all, back here on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK and the all-new 92.3 FM. Trisha Kyle, what's going on? Keith Hennick, I see y'all. Kimberlyn Negret, what you doing out of class? All right, let me get back to the phone line. Dr. Aki Davis. Man, I don't know, bro. You made me more mad than I was before. I'm serious. I'm not happy. I'm not happy at all. It's almost like the Rockets are shooting themselves in the foot, and I don't know who to blame for it. They don't have draft picks. They don't have collateral to really bring in a big-name free agent. And really, I guess all you need are a few pieces. That's what everybody told me. All you needed was a few pieces to go around Harden and Westbrook. And now Westbrook doesn't even want to be a part of the picture.
Well, Harden and Westbrook, it really got intense between those guys, and they were like close. Well, I'm not gonna even say they was close friends. A lot of people try to like make a narrative like they played together since they were kids. They were on the same AAU team, and they both grew up in Los Angeles. But even though they played for like Oklahoma City, they were never really close friends as people think will try to make the narrative be. They were never that close. And then when, Westbrook came here, when the whole COVID thing happened, Rockets kind of keep it under the close, we knew Westbrook caught the coronavirus, but he caught it from one of Harden's parties that Harden usually has all the time. And that's a lot. When you see Harden lose all that weight on Instagram, Harden really technically had the COVID virus, but the Rockets won't talk about it. But he had it in time where it didn't have to be reported, and then, he got back, he got the little love handles and everything. You could see like right before the playoffs. They thought he was like working out like a madman. That wasn't the case. He was out partying, being around everybody like he always does.
I don't get it. I don't get it. I mean, it's not my life to live. It's their lives and however they want to live them, but as fans and as, media and sports journalists and all that, we want to have the best team available out there on the court, and we want them to have a legitimate shot to compete. And when I look at the focus that the LA Lakers have, that's called championship mentality. And there are a lot of folks around here that don't get that. They don't understand that. And all they do is they talk about names. Well, you can talk about names all day long. I can drop names all day long, but eventually those names got to get on the court and outplay somebody else's name. And if they can't play somebody else's name, then they get sent home like the Rockets did and I'm going to put you in this too, when all y'all told me that they had a better lineup than the LA Lakers. Well, apparently they didn't, because they didn't win 4 out of 7. So I'm ready to stop talking about names, and I'm ready to start seeing some results, because the Astros don't have it, the Texans don't have it, and now the Rockets don't have it.
Well, I get the Astros a little mercy. They were one game away from the World Series.
For what? Why they get mercy?
Well, they were one game away from the World Series. Dusty Baker did an amazing job as a coach, and I can take that L. One game away from the World Series. I'm not going to smash that.
Let me say this to you, Dr. Aki. Dr. Aki, you know I love you like drinking water, bro. I do. But here's the thing. I get it. I understand what you're saying. But anytime you start settling for close, you're going to get used to being close. When you realize that as much as they overachieved, and they did, they overachieved. They didn't have their starting pitching staff. They didn't have most of their players throughout. I get it. But being one game from the World Series is just like being in last place. You're not in the World Series. So either they're going to keep pushing until they get there legitimately, or then we're just going to be happy that they got close. He ain't talking to me no more. He don't like me no more. Aki, I love you, man. Aki. Dr. Aki. Call me back. He hung up on me. Dead in my face. I had my mouth open. He hung up dead in my face. I sure hope his phone dropped. No, it's John Foster that had the bad phone service. Dr. Aki, call me back. I got your number. Don't make me call you on the air. Hold on. Okay, there you go. Let me see if that's him. Dr. Aki, is that you?
Yeah, sorry, the mute button on the phone.
Oh, man, I thought you got mad at me and hung up dead in my face. I was like, see, I was going to call you James Harden because I don't have the problem.
Nah, I don't do that. I'm not, I would never hang up on you like that.
I know you used to hang up on them girls, though, man. I know when they talk crazy to you, like, hey, wait a minute, hold this.
Funny, it ain't doing nothing for me, AJ. That's the common thing that men should do.
Man, I'm telling you, that's one thing I never was big on. Don't hang up in nobody's face. That's almost like fighting words. You hang up in somebody's face.
They should hang up on nobody's face.
Man, and I used to date some of them, round the way girls, that LL Cool. I need an around. They'll come knock on your door. Oh, we hanging up on people now? That's what we doing? Start taking them hoop earrings out their ears. Start putting that Vaseline on their face because it's about to go down. Don't hang up on them from where I grew up. We live too close to one another. They be knocking on your window, like, oh, okay, you hanging up now? Aki, man, I'm serious, man. The Rockets have got to figure this out. They don't have any draft picks coming up in the upcoming draft. They don't have money for free agency. The cap number is lower. So what they gonna do?
They're gonna need to sink or swim. And I don't see them being successful because it's like you said, they don't have draft picks. Which still draft picks, you can never expect a rookie to be dominant unless it's like a Luka Doncic type player.
Man.
It's like a once-in-a-generation type player, a LeBron or somebody like that. It comes out. You can't really rely on draft picks anyway, but at least you have a building block for the future and somebody contribute and you can see the development. But, not having cap space is the kicker there. Right. They need somebody they can bring in as a free agent to add to Harden and Westbrook. And they need Steven Silas needs them to buy into a system.
They got to give that young man a chance. I know that James Harden. I know that James Harden wanted Tyronn Lue and John Lucas. Hey man, listen, I wanted Halle Berry and Sanaa Lathan. I didn't get either one of them. I gotta live on, bro. I gotta get up every day, and I gotta live my life like I got me a Halle Berry and I got me a Sanaa Lathan. I mean, in fact, let me drop Halle out because I ain't been rocking with Halle for a minute. Old girl that played Okoye in Black Panther. All's my life. That's all I wanted, and I gotta be grateful. You see what I'm saying?
I understand, but yeah, it's just like James Harden is like his ego is just like too inflated, and it's bad. It's like it's I don't even know how to describe it. It's just like he's just like when you were OKC, he was the sixth man.
Right.
Now you come here, you made MVP. You made a name for yourself. You run around town hanging out with these rappers, and you're just thinking you're the man. You got the money and the fame, and it's just like, but you're not. You don't have that mentality of a champion.
You know what it is, right?
So different when you see somebody like Kobe or LeBron or Jordan. That mentality is totally different than James Harden.
Yeah.
The way they live, the way they carry themselves, just the manliness, just the I get upset when I lose.
Yeah. You know what it is, though. You know what it is. And this is what it is for real. It's the curse of Khloe Kardashian. Doc, go down the list. Anybody that's dealt with Khloe in the league or anyone that's dealt with a Kardashian in the league, how they doing right now? Do the work.
They're not doing good.
That's all I'm saying. You got to decide, what do you want? Do you want to be an NBA champion or do you want to be a casualty of the Kardashians?
I don't know. To be honest with you, even though Westbrook's not a great shooter, and I know that, I really like Russell Westbrook as a player. I really think you could do something with Russell Westbrook as a player.
Bruh, the whole tempo of the game changes when Russell Westbrook comes in and can run the show. When Russell Westbrook comes in and Harden goes to the bench, the whole dynamic of the team changes in a good way. Now, all you got to do is have Russ not shoot any more than, say, 5 threes a game. Give him 5. And I don't even think he has to shoot those anymore because I think Silas is going to come in and they're going to find the mid-range jumper again, and they're going to, play some good old-fashioned basketball again in addition to analytic basketball. But all in all, Russell Westbrook is a keeper. And I know a lot of Rocket fans don't think so. Russell Westbrook is a playmaker. Russell Westbrook is a game changer. Russell Westbrook can motivate your team. If they had Russell Westbrook back in the day when they got to that game 6 and 7 against the Warriors after Chris Paul went out, they win. They win.
I agree with you. I love Russell Westbrook. But I also want to say this. Chris Paul was one of the best things to happen to James Harden, but it was just like something like he couldn't handle or couldn't digest. Like, you know how like some people can handle juicing and some people can't?
Yeah.
It was like Chris Paul was that guy that James Harden needed. He just needed to respect somebody.
Right.
He needed to hey, this dude is like one of the top 5 point guards of all time. Let me listen to him and absorb what he's talking about. But he was so busy and self-absorbed that like, hey, I'm younger than you, and right now at this time in my career I'm better than you, and I'm gonna treat you as such.
Well, all I can say, if he can't listen to Russell Westbrook and he couldn't listen to Chris Paul and he couldn't listen to Dwight Howard, who's he gonna listen to? I mean, do we need to?
I don't know.
Do we need to sign his mother? I don't mean to be disrespectful, but do we need to sign his mother?
You know the Rockets. One of the reasons why they didn't even pursue LeBron James is because James Harden didn't want LeBron James.
Well, there you go. Rocket fans, what you see is what you get. What you see right now is all you're going to get.
We just need some pieces.
I'm just telling you, bro. I mean, when I look at the future of other teams and I see, what Denver has, and when I see what Dallas has, and when I see what Miami
Warriors
has.
will be back.
Huh?
Warriors will be back. Warriors will be back.
I know it. That's what I'm saying. Especially if they get, I said yesterday, if they get a little ball, look out. Look out.
Yeah, they'll be back. So people can sleep on the Warriors all they want to, but I'm going to tell them to wake up around the playoff time.
I'm just telling you, it's going to be fewer spaces in the playoff in the West than it was last year because the Warriors are going to be back in there. Watch out. New Orleans is going to probably grab one of those spots. Dallas is going to be back. Phoenix might get one of those spots. Memphis, OKC. Bruh, all I'm telling you is going to be fewer spots. And Keith Hennig just said it. Oh, yeah, and Greg Popovich is coming back.
Can't never doubt Pop.
And then I think they got the number 11 pick in the upcoming draft. And they're going to get some player ain't nobody ever heard of. And the dude's going to average 29 and 12.
Pop is the best in the game, man. I got much respect for Pop.
Yeah,
great coach.
Dr. Aki, I got another call, man. Let me take this other call.
All right, man. You take care. AJ, I just wanted to shout out to you, man, and keep doing what you're doing.
Tell everybody where they can get your book, man.
Oh, man, you go to Page Turner 0823, or you go to Dr. Aki at Twitter, or just follow me on Facebook, AKIE Davis.
All right, man. I want to make sure they get it, bro.
All right, bro.
All right, man. Appreciate you. Dr. Aki Davis, always good call. Love having him on the show. Caller, stay right there. I got to take a quick break, but we'll be back with our next caller right here on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK and the all-new 92.3 FM. It's Throwback Thursday.
Hey, what's up, everybody? everybody? It's AJ Jones with the lunch break on the legendary KYOK AM 1140 and 92.3 FM. It's that time of year when we are reminded of all the things we should be thankful for, and that it's more blessed to give than to receive. So with that in mind, on Wednesdays from now through Christmas, we'll give you a chance to win a gift certificate from Butterball. That's right, you can win a gift certificate for a Butterball turkey on Wednesdays on the lunch break between 12 and 2. Just be the right caller, and your Butterball turkey will be on us at the legendary KYOK AM 1140 at 92.3.
You're listening to
1140 AM and 92.3 FM. The legendary KYOK.
You love your dog. Is something bothering him or her and you can't figure out what it is? Maybe they seem slow or lethargic, and maybe they just don't have energy. Wouldn't you like your dog to be living their very best life? PetJoy offers a money-back guarantee on all of its products. If your dog won't eat it or you don't see the results you want, just let us know and we'll make it right. Totally risk-free. What do you have to lose? You can't buy PetJoy multivitamins.
What's up, brother?
The only way you can get them is through this unique radio
We'll
offer.
take a quick call
and if you
after
call
this
right
and we'll
now,
get right
learn
in.
how to get 2
Yeah,
bottles
that's fine, man.
free.
You race finished up, so here I am.
Him or her a happy camper. Ain't that right, boy? He said call PetJoy right now. 800-296-1459. 800-296-1459. 800-296-1459. That's 800-296-1459.
Now, back to the lunch break.
All right, y'all. We're back here on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK and the all-new 92.3 FM. I'm AJ Jones. It is our Throwback Thursday, and joining me now is none other than Kris Gardner of Houston Roundball Review. But before we get Kris on, let's go ahead and take our caller. Hello, you're live on the lunch break. Who's this?
Brother AJ Ferdinand.
Hey, Ferdinand, caller of the year 2017. What's going on, bro?
Hey, look, if Jimmer Fertitta is a smart man, you trade away James Harden, you keep Russell Westbrook, and you build off of that. Total different chemistry. He knows about leadership. He has a great hustle in it. Daryl Morey has brought in a plethora of talent around James Harden. Nothing has worked. You don't break up a team, AJ, that'll get you to a game 7 in a final. You don't break up that chemistry. You don't chase one team, then Golden State, and you change up your whole chemistry for one team. It's not a team in the day. So right now, as a result of all that, the Rockets are totally struggling. And so, and it's just James Harden is he's not that championship caliber guy. And I just think they need to cut their losses and move forward.
So, and I'm glad we got Kris Gardner from Houston Roundball Review. Harden wants to stay. Westbrook wants to go. But you're saying go to Westbrook and say, hey, we'll fix it. Don't go nowhere. We're going to work this out. And then you ship Harden off somewhere and get whatever you can back from him and for him, and you run with that.
AJ, how long has Harden been here?
He's been here a minute.
Has anything worked?
They got all the way to the Western Conference Finals. They were 2 games away from, they were 1 game away from, they were 1 3-pointer and some 2s away from an NBA Finals.
There was one player getting sick away from winning a championship. James Harden couldn't bring it through. You want to blame Kris? Kris wasn't there. You was there. You can't bring a championship here because nobody wants to come and work with James Harden here. Russell came, thought he can help. He can't help James. James is in his own way, AJ. And I know I'm gonna let you get your. Go ahead.
No. I'm sighing, not because you're wrong. I'm sighing because Kris, he might be right. I'm calling you Doc. Ferdinand, thanks, man. Appreciate you for the call.
All right, and one thing before I go, guys. 14 consecutive seasons. Mike Tomlin, I'm gone.
Yeah, bro. I ain't mad at you. You're right about that. I already told y'all, if that black man wins a championship, y'all ain't gonna be able to handle me. If Mike Tomlin wins the Super Bowl in Pittsburgh this year, oh man, I'm trying to tell you, y'all gonna start calling me Malika Salam, man. I'm telling you, I'm going all the way in. I'm going every day. Will be a dashiki. I mean it every day. All right, Kris Gardner, hi, man. Welcome to the lunch break. I'm a little fired up today because I'm really a Rockets fan. I was a Rockets fan from the days of Rulin. I was a Rocket fan from the days of, I'm telling you, I was a Rocket fan from Samson, all of them back in the day. And now they messing up my team, man. What is going on, Kris? Make it make sense, please.
Make it make sense. Well, you just open-ended me right there, man. Well, I'll go with this. Ferdinand may not be wrong, because let's look at this. Chris Paul was traded away because we all thought Chris held James accountable.
Mm-hmm.
Chris Paul got traded away. Mm-hmm. Now we're hearing that Russ held James accountable and James didn't like it. Mm-hmm. Based on the article in The Athletic by one of my young lions, Kelly Eco, and his crew up there at The Athletic.
Mm-hmm.
That's two right there. Russ supposed to be one of his best friends. So if your best friend can't hold you accountable,
we forget Dwight Howard. Dwight tried to hold him accountable. On
good point there. Good. You're right there.
Daryl Morey literally wrote him out of the script.
So if that's three players who are trying to hold James Harden accountable, and two are gone, one wants to go, Mr. Harden's still here, so maybe he needs to look in the mirror. And perhaps the Rockets need to as well. All-star players get franchise treatment from an organization. But at some point, you got to hold your stars accountable, and your star has to be willing to accept that accountability. And James Harden is now the constant in all of this.
Right.
I still don't believe that Tillman would trade him. I think he'd get more for him in return than he'd get for Russ.
Yeah.
The Charlotte Hornets deal, rumor, discussion, whatever. Ooh. I mean, Mike is the owner there in Charlotte. That's not a good franchise. That's not a championship team that Russ would go to right there. So I don't know why. The money won't change. He'll still get paid wherever he ends up.
Right.
But if he wants to win a championship, don't go to Charlotte. You have saying where you want to go. Don't go there. Why? Why? I don't understand that. Yeah, in terms of what the Rockets could get back in return.
Right.
Salaries, Nicholas Batum's contract could come back. That would be better for the Rockets. Salary-wise, player-wise, no.
Right.
But it could work for them. Money-wise, the draft pick in this draft, whatever. It's not a great draft in terms of superstar, immediate impact players. Mm-hmm. It may be a solid draft in terms of guys who can be consistent producers, bench guys, 6'7", good role players. Every draft will have a star here and there, but this draft, especially at the top, is not filled with we know can't miss talent.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the Rockets could get something better for Russ, but Russ, the man, says he wants to go. You don't want him to hang around if he's not happy.
Yeah. That's the sad part about it. If you just flat out and saying there's no rule that says you got to trade him. If they just flat out and say, no, we're not going to move you, we'll work it out, then what kind of guy do you get? Do you get a guy who's out there giving his all, or do you get a guy that's out there playing, half inspired? And we don't want that Russell Westbrook.
Right. And let me say this. In the 1 year Russ was here, just adds to what was said about him in OKC. Russ is a great teammate.
Right.
He's a great teammate. Yep. He holds himself accountable. He holds his teammates accountable. He takes blame for us because he was the man in OKC. He took the blame. He took the hits.
Right.
From lots of folks.
Yep.
He rolled with it. We all know Russ is not a great three-point shooter. We all know Russ is so relentless to do things his way. I think some of us, me included, think he does that sometimes to a fault. But you know where Russ stands. The Rockets' best ball being played this past season when Russ took over the team.
Right.
When Russ led the way, when Russ went into attack mode, and when Russ was Mr. Relentless and he was going to get things done. That's when the Rockets played their best ball.
Right.
When Russ struggled with the injury and in the bubble and coming back from COVID, people forget about that too. He did test positive.
That's true.
He was not the same player. They missed his impact.
Yep.
So you saw who really was the most valuable player to the Rockets this past season. That's Russ.
Yep, there's no doubt about it. We got Kris Gardner, founder of Houston Roundball Review, joining us here on the show. And, that being said, I said the same thing before you came on. I said when Russ was running it and Harden went to the bench, you saw a whole different team. And like you said, when he came back from COVID and the injury and all that in the bubble, he was a fraction of himself. You could see him pressing. You could see him trying to do too much. You could see him pressing himself, and it didn't work out. All that being said, if Russ wants out, I'm hearing that the Clippers are also a possible trade partner. What could they possibly give us that would be of any value for Russ and put him in a position to be with a contender?
I think one of the reasons he go to the Clippers, obviously, is his home. Ty Lue's coaching. He's now the new head coach there. If I'm, Rafael and the Rockets, first I want Paul George. I want Montrezl Harrell.
Yep. You say that name because that's
you got to get back a guard. So you might as well. I'd also want Landry Shamet, a young guy who can shoot from three. Don't want Patrick Beverley.
Did you say you don't want him?
Don't want him. No.
I thought he was coming home.
He could in terms of salary fit, things like that. But if you still want to have 3-point shooting and Austin Rivers will be gone, he's not coming back. Landry Shamet is a young guy with some upside, good defender, 3-point shooter. He could replace Austin Rivers, and I think he can be more consistent than Austin, and he's younger than Austin.
Yeah.
So that's an option. But Paul George here, then you got to deal with playoff Paul George. It's not the same thing as regular season Paul George. So, and Paul George has had shoulder injuries and then, the really catastrophic injury, leg injury. So, but Russ saying he wants out does hurt the Rockets' leverage.
Mm-hmm.
So, that is a issue, but the Rockets, Rafael is not his first rodeo. It's the first job in the seat as general manager, but he was in the room for all those personnel meetings and transaction meetings and all of those things. Don't want him to get fleeced. You don't want to take pennies on the dollar. Your leverage has been shaken a little bit, so maybe you can get 50 cents, 75 cents on that dollar in return. But point blank, Russ says he wants out. Rockets got to do what's best for them to get something in return, because the last thing is Russ says he wants to see things changed, improvements, accountability.
Mm-hmm.
And then our local colleague tweeted that he wasn't happy with the offense. Stephen Silas hasn't even put in the offense.
Right. Absolutely.
He just got here.
Right.
And Stephen Silas said in his press conference that he talked to Russ and James and said he wanted them to be them. He didn't want them to change. It was on him and the staff to add to their game.
Mm-hmm.
Well, to me, that sounds like something you'd want to be part of.
I would think so.
The Mavs last season had the top, it's not a big deal to me, but had the top NBA offense in efficiency in league history.
Right.
So why not try that first to see if it fits you, Russ? And then if it doesn't, hey, February, I don't want to be here.
Right.
Make it happen.
Right. We got to take a quick break. I need to get Sybil Wilkes on with her COVID-19 update. We got Kris Gardner joining us here from Houston Roundball Review. We're talking about the situation with Russell Westbrook, James Harden, and them being concerned about the direction of the team. And then ultimately Westbrook saying he wants out and wants to be traded. I'll read the comment from Big Time Floyd when we come back. But right now, let's go ahead and get our update from Sybil Wilkes on COVID-19. We'll be right back.
It's Sybil Wilkes with what you need to know today. More than 1 week after the presidential election, Georgia Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger announced the official recount of 5 million ballots cast in that state during the contest. The goal is to complete the recount of all 159 counties by the Georgia certification deadline, Friday, November 20th. President-elect Joe Biden and his transition team are moving forward with preparations to take control of the federal government. Meanwhile, Secretary of State Mike Pompeo responded to a question about the transition by saying there would be a smooth transition to a second Trump administration. This week, the U.S. hit a record number of coronavirus hospitalizations and reported 1 million new confirmed cases in just the first 10 days of November. The latest surge of infections has prompted several governors to set curfews and require masks indoors while urging residents to voluntarily shelter in place. Please visit SibylWilkes.com to subscribe to my free daily newsletter. Be informed, be empowered.
Hey, what's going on? This is Lecrae, and right now you're listening to The Lunch Break.
All right. Thank you, Sybil Wilkes, for that update on COVID-19. Let's go ahead and get back to it. Big Time Floyd comment was, hello, AJ and the Breakers. Nice shirt representing the Southern Jags. Yeah, it's our HBCU throwback today. Tillman, it is time to make a trade. Send Westbrook and PJ Tucker in exchange for Lou Williams and Montrezl Harrell. Let's see if they take the bait. How can you consider trading the most dominant player in the NBA? Keep the beard if you want to have any chance to winning the West. Just get James, a big man, and watch him smoke the Rocket red. Okay. All right. What does that sound like for you?
Sounds like words from a James Harden fan. That's not me. So,
Okay.
you know, I'm media. I'm not a fan in any of this. You know, I'd love to see the Rockets. The better the Rockets do, the more interest I get in my websites and my videos, things like that. Russ leaving the Rockets would hurt me on YouTube. My channel would crash because his fans love Russ videos wherever they are, and they found him on my channel. If he goes, that's a problem for me. So from a personal, selfish standpoint, I don't want him to go.
Mhm.
But I'm media. I'm going to report what happens. Excuse me. And what the things that are in that article in The Athletic, some of those things, one of them for sure, I saw firsthand. So I know that, you know, I can confirm that. I know that for a fact that there was issues about that in the locker room. And I go back to Harden.
Yeah.
He is the constant in this. We know he's a tremendous talent on offense and an improved defensive player. But multiple times now, teammates are holding you accountable.
Right.
And if you are having issue with that, that's on you.
Right.
And that impacts the team, and that impacts the team's performance. And now we're getting into PJ Tucker is not happy with his salary. He wants more money. The extension was late and things of that sort.
Well, I mean, he's playing three positions. He's playing three different positions.
He's playing out of position.
Of course.
Right.
So,
First and foremost, yes.
pay him like a 5, pay him like a makeshift 4, and every now and then he's guarding a 3.
But you see how it was handled. They waited so late to give him the extension on the deal. They could have done that back before the season started.
Right.
Why make him wait unnecessarily for that?
Daryl Morey? Was that Daryl Morey, or do you think that was Tillman Fertitta?
Well, since Tillman's the owner, I'm going to say it's Tillman. Daryl's gone now.
I thought he's gone now.
I'm going to say I think he's gone because of Tillman.
Okay. All right.
You know, the press statement was nice and respectful and professional and all those things, but it didn't take long for him to go to another job.
No, I sure didn't. He spent a little bit of time with his children who were having a gap year in school. Stay right there. Let me hit the top of the hour. Kris Gardner, Houston Roundball Review, joining us, trying to make sense of this Rocket situation. We'll be right back right after this.
The legendary 1140 AM KYOK Conroe and 92.3 FM K222CX Houston.
The views and opinions expressed on all radio shows broadcast on KYOK are entirely those of the host, guests, and callers, who are entirely responsible for all show content and do not in any way reflect the opinions of KYOK Radio, its sponsors, staff, or management.
Welcome to hour number 2 of the lunch break right here on the legendary KYOK and the all-new 92.3 FM. Thank you for those who are streaming on kyokradio.org, those who are watching us on Facebook Live, and those who are checking us out again on the legendary KYOK AM 1140. Man, Kris, I don't even know where to go. I really don't. And I get what you're saying about Tillman and Daryl and what have you. It's kind of like Bill O'Brien. The Texans are still suffering the effects and the decisions made by O'Brien. They don't have draft picks. They don't have salary cap. They don't have a lot of flexibility with free agency because they have the highest payroll in the entire NFL. If Daryl Morey managed the team as a general manager in a way that is affecting their ability to pay players, get players, move players, I mean, I get the whole Hong Kong thing, and I know for a fact that Tillman wanted to fire him then. The league office wouldn't let him do it. But if they're still suffering from the effects of Daryl Morey, we got to call that what it is.
Oh, I've been calling Daryl. I've had issues with some of his moves for a while.
Yeah, I got you.
No, I don't. I'm not a fan of his belief in the philosophy of the draft is not important.
Yeah,
he, especially late first round picks. That was his philosophy. It wasn't important. Take up salary cap room. He tried to get the free agent route more, and I'm talking about rookie free agents, undrafted free agents, preferably, and hit a diamond in the rough. Daryl always, to me, came across as wanting to prove to people that he was smarter than everybody else.
Yep.
He always looked for the loophole to try to get things done, to circumnavigate the salary cap.
Bill O'Brien, go ahead.
The deal he tried to do with Nene,
mm-hmm.
that the league said, no, you can't do that. Salary cap rules can't. Well, Daryl tried to do it.
Right.
So because he always looked for those little things that could get over for something. In the Rockets, draft picks, they gave up so much to get Russ, and that's why it would look so bad. You gave up so much to get him, and now if you trade him, you're not going to get as much back.
Yeah.
So, that is a concern, and it comes the bottom line, it comes down to if Russ says, I really want to know what could convince Russ in terms of accountability. What he would like to see, they'll keep him willing to stay here and be happy.
Do you think the accountability is directed at James Harden?
It's got to be the start of it. But House supposedly had blow-ups, verbal confrontations, challenging Russ and James. Well, I don't see House coming back because of how he left the bubble and left his teammates down. But what other accountability would Russ like to see?
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm curious of, because if it's just James, well, Russ has known James since they were 10.
Right.
Is James going to change? Do we have reason to think he's going to change? He's willing to change? Because, as you said, Dwight, Chris Paul, Russ, James hadn't changed. James has apparently had issues with all of that from them. So what else would Russ like to see that would allow him to keep him happy to be here, to stay here?
Yeah. You know who I'd like to talk to? I'd like to talk to Trevor Ariza. I'd like to talk to Trevor, and I would like to get his opinion of what is it or who is it. Because Trevor, he wasn't sold as a bestie with either one of them.
Right.
But, Trevor was that mature, go to work, do his job, and make it happen. I would love to hear his thoughts on what he would think, on who or what he thinks the real issue is around here. It got so bad with Russ and James that their mothers got involved. Now, it's bad.
Yeah. Something's going on. The timing of this is strange to me. And if I can, I don't like the timing of it, the whole issue of it, as a black man.
Yeah, you're right.
And I touched on this last time you had me on your show.
Yeah.
Is there seem to be cutting Steven Silas off at the knees before you even got a chance to coach him.
Absolutely.
Give the brother a chance to show you what he can do.
Yep.
First. If he can't get the job done, okay, then request the trade. Training camp is December 1st. Yep. You don't even know what Steven has designed for you. It might work great for you.
At all.
But to demand the trade 3 weeks before that, come on. I don't like that from that point of view. And some colleagues who don't look like us won't think of it that way.
Right.
Because, why would they?
Right.
But I'm coming from it from that perspective. Give Steven Silas a chance to succeed or fail.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we always want. Give us a chance to succeed or fail based on our merits and qualifications. Right. And do this now just really doesn't. It ticks me off.
Yeah, no, I get you. And I'm glad you brought that up because, again, that's a whole different perspective that we can understand, our listeners can understand, our viewers can understand. But unless you've ever experienced it and knew what it was, you wouldn't know anything about it. You wouldn't know anything about it. And it's unfortunate because it makes it kills the credibility and the respect of Steven Silas before he ever gets a chance. And that's not good.
Yeah, and Steven Silas said one of the reasons he said at the press conference just last Thursday, that with James and Russ, he was in a win now mode coach. He was a win now mode coach. He didn't want to take this job believing that there was going to be a rebuild.
Yeah.
So in his mind, his task was to get the team to the finals and win the championship this season. Whether I thought that was going to happen or not, realistically, but that was his mindset, was to get them over the hump and get them to the finals. So if that's his mindset, his mentality, why are you trying to end that before it gets started?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's why I say, man, championship mentality is a thing. Some folks don't understand it, especially if they've never been a part of a championship team or one that competed for a championship. And I'm talking about in the finals, not, you were 0-0 like everybody else. Championship mentality is a thing. It's a real thing. And when you have a coach that comes in here with it and they are, trying to hold everybody accountable to it, then, you got to give it a shot. Let me go to the phone line. Quick call. Hello, you're live on the lunch break. Who's this?
Hey, what's going on, AJ? This is Keith, man. How you doing?
Longhorn Keith. What's going on, brother? Hey, real quick. Thank you for your service, brother.
Oh, you're welcome, bro. Thank you for responding back.
No
hey,
problem.
Kris, great job as always, man. You guys have a wonderful dialogue here, and I didn't want to interrupt it, but you brought up something that hit the nail on the head for me, and that's something I've been thinking about, and that's as a black man, looking at this from that perspective and seeing what is taking place, it makes you sick to your stomach a little bit, right? So the first thing I thought of was like deeper than this, like, okay, so what is the culture issue or accountability that he is mentioning, or at least it's published in the Atlantic? And the only thing that I can think of as the common denominator without trying to roll Russ under the bus because he hasn't said anything is that something's wrong with the culture with the Rockets, and more importantly with Tillman Fertitta. I feel like ever since when D'Antoni left and said he's just not going to take it off, wasn't even going to discuss it anymore, and then when Morey left, it was just like, okay, I'm going to spend some time with my kids. But then both of them went back into the profession. So it wasn't like they were no longer hungry to do their job.
Sorry about that.
Oh, you're fine. It seems to me, I believe that Russ is saying, or it looks on surface that maybe there's some trust or lack of trust with Tillman Fertitta bringing in additional players to help with the process. And obviously, I know they're at the max. I don't know, but this is, like you said, it's a weird timing situation, man, and I don't like it.
I think it starts at the top. Tillman is the owner, and the accountability issues that were referenced in the Athletic, D'Antoni's gone, and one of the things in the article was D'Antoni did not like or was getting kind of jealous of the respect that John Lucas was getting from the players, and specifically Russ and James. And that's petty. We're adults, we're grown men. And Luke has a different personality than D'Antoni. Luke is a true straight shooter, and he will cut a player down to size, does not care if you're a superstar or a scrub. He treats you the same way. If you mess up, he says so. He will tell you you messed up, and then he'll show you where you messed up and how to correct it. So the accountability issue, the issue I think was there before Tillman became owner. One of the things, and one of the things that, like I said, LeBron is coddled. Superstars are coddled by their franchises. That we all know that.
Right.
But it seems to me that makes you wonder, did something happen that the players and teammates thought that the Rockets went too far with James and the coddling. Did something push the players over the edge? Because Trevor Ariza, yes, he left because he wanted more money, but something happened apparently, according to The Athletic, that he was still looking for an apology from the Rockets franchise when they were, contemplating bringing him back as a, trying to get him in a trade or get him out off the waiver wire, something like that. And he's like, no. So something is, all the tea being spilled right now in the last 24 hours. Why? Why is this happening right now?
Yeah.
Right.
And Keith, let me throw this in as well. I've said it a number of times, and I hate to do it. I got to jump off for a quick commercial.
Yeah, you're fine.
Oh, stay right there then. Stay right there. But Tillman Fertitta is not a basketball guy. He's a businessman. So Tillman Fertitta might not come at this the same way that Alexander would have come at it or another person would have come at it. And I said that was going to come into play eventually, and it may be right now. How he handled Morey was interesting. How he handled D'Antoni was interesting. We'll take a quick break. We'll finish this talk when we come back right here on the lunch break.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's AJ Jones with the lunch break on the legendary KYOK AM 1140 and 92.3 FM. It's that time of year when we are reminded of all the things we should be thankful for, and that it's more blessed to give than to receive. So with that in mind, on Wednesdays from now through Christmas, we'll give you a chance to win a gift certificate from Butterball. That's right, you can win a gift certificate for a Butterball turkey on Wednesdays on the lunch break between 12 and 2. Just be the right caller, and your Butterball turkey will be on us at the legendary KYOK AM 1140 at 92.3.
I am a non-attorney spokesperson representing a team of lawyers who've helped people that have been injured or wronged. Have you been diagnosed with cancer? Are you one of the millions who have taken Zantac or other generic versions of this popular drug to help treat stomach issues? Then pay close attention to this message. The FDA said it detected low levels of a probable cancer-causing chemical known as NDMA in Zantac and other generic forms of this popular drug. They've banned sales and even removed it from the market. If you've been diagnosed with cancer and you've taken Zantac or a generic equivalent, call the legal helpline now. You could receive a free cash award and have your medical expenses covered. And there's no upfront cost to you. They only get paid if you win. So please call now. 800-251-7816. 800-251-7816. 800-251-7816. That's 800-251-7816.
The legendary KYOK 1140 AM and 92.3 FM. The legend continues.
Hey, what's up? This your boy James Fortune, and you are listening to the lunch break. Keep it locked.
All right, back here on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK and the all-new 92.3 FM. Real quick, Tiger Woods tied for third in round one at the Masters. 4 under par through 12, 2 shots off the lead. And right now, the leader is none other than Paul Casey, and he's 6 under through 13. So for all you golfers out there, I know y'all wanted to know that. All right, let me get back to it. I got Longhorn Keith joining us on the phone line. Got Kris Gardner from Houston Roundball Review on the video with us. And, again, Tillman Fertitta, that's that businessman. When somebody doesn't produce or somebody, does something that he doesn't like, what's the first thing a businessman will do? Got to go. The league had to step in and tell him, you can't do it on this one. And he inherited Daryl Morey. He inherited Mike D'Antoni, and he inherited James Harden. And Les Alexander took care of stuff initially by re-signing Chris Paul, and all that other stuff, and then transitioned the team over to him. But Tillman might be reverting back to his old ways of, hey, this is how I run my business, and we might not like the way it's going.
But AJ.
I'll just say this to leave you guys along with this, man. Tillman extended Morey just like 2 years ago or last year. So for him to lead the team this year is a clear sign that there is still something underneath the table that
no doubt about
is not being discussed.
Right.
And the last thing I'll say about that, man, is because we mentioned this earlier when you were talking about Silas coming in as a head coach as a black man and then having basically his knees cut from under him to coach this team. And that's the same, for the first time in the history of this city sports franchise, you have 3 black leaders.
Yep.
Whether it's temporary or permanently,
right.
The first time ever. But yet they're working with a limited roster. The Astros, you can argue that they probably will keep most of their roster intact, minus George Springer going out on the free agency, and that's understandable, right? But at the end of the day, I find it so fascinating that the major two sports, basketball and football, have two black coaches, and yet their resources, they're asked to do more with less, according to if things go the way that with the Rockets, if things go the way that they're requesting for them to go. So, but anyway, man, it's always good chatting up with you guys. Man, I'll sit back and listen to the conversation.
Thanks so much, Keith. Appreciate you as always, brother.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Always a good conversation with Keith calls, man. Always a good conversation. He brings up a good point, man, because not only do you have three black men leading all of the major sports in the city, they've all been brought in to clean things up. Every single one of them was brought in to clean stuff up, and it ain't an easy job because all three of them were in horrendous shape going into those situations. And like you said, like you've been saying, Kris, Silas hadn't even got in the building good yet, and they're already questioning the leadership and the direction of the franchise.
And Keith, and you are right on point. And the more extension, and then I think it was like a 4 or 5 year extension for, I want to say $8 million per.
Yep.
And then Morey leaves.
Yep.
Not even halfway in through that extension. So that's why I say there's other things that we don't know about and we may never hear about publicly behind the scenes that are happening. Tillman loves superstars, and last year's team was Russ's team when they were most successful in terms of who was more popular here in Houston is James Harden.
Mm-hmm.
So if for whatever reason the Rockets decide to trade James Harden, the fan support will take a dip because James Harden's been here so long, and it feels more. I think the fans are more invested in him than they are obviously in Russ, based on just 1 year of Russ being here. But I don't believe anybody thinks that a Harden deal would get more in return for the Rockets and better value potentially than a Russ trade. But James said he wants to be. He's locked in. Notice what it was that he said. He's locked in for this season. He said this season. He didn't say long term. He said this season.
Right. It's almost like he's saying, I'm going to give this guy a chance for this year.
Yeah. I'm going to give y'all a chance to make everything better around me. Wow. And then if it's not, if I'm not happy, then I got to go. I got to give me a championship somewhere else. Yeah. Because he has 2 years left. They both have 3 years left on their deals for like 131, 132.
Right.
So James, after this year, would have 2 more in 84, something like that. If, 1 year, if it's not done this year, and they're not going to championship this year, AJ, they're not. No. Then James will say, trade me. Mm-hmm. Then what? So then that means if both the star players are gone after potentially one season, and then we're back, Steven Silas comes in, starting over after 1 year, maybe 1 year. He may have to start over right now.
Right.
I mean, and that's how we've been placed in situations far too much in professional sports.
Yep. Steven Silas becomes Mike Brown without LeBron James.
Yes.
Yep.
Great analogy.
Yep. Man, I tell you what, off the subject for a second, but kind of still on it. Imagine J.J. Watt, J.J. Watt, James Harden, and I'm going to put George Springer in there because he's a fan favorite. Imagine all 3 of them being gone in the same season or after the same season. Like you look up and you're watching the Texans without J.J. Watt, you're watching the Rockets without James Harden, and you're rooting for the Astros without Springer in that starting lineup.
And that could happen soon.
Yeah.
And who would have thought that last year?
Man.
So it's amazing how things change so quickly, almost on a dime. One season ago, nobody would have contemplated that. Well, maybe George Springer because of free agency and getting some massive offer from somewhere else. But J.J. Watt, James Harden, I think fans would have told you that they truly would believe
Right.
that those two would have retired
Yep.
in Texans and Rockets jerseys here. And now, November 2020, that possibility does not seem no longer likely.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Kris, I mean, I hope you can get to the bottom of what is really going on here. I hope you can get to the bottom of how this is going to play out. I mean, no disrespect, but I don't want anything that Charlotte has to offer for Russell Westbrook. I just don't. I mean, you know.
Why would you?
Yeah. I hate to do it. Quick break. I got a jingle and 2 quick commercials. We'll do that next. We'll come back with Kris Gardner right here on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK and the all-new 92.3 FM.
The legendary KYOK 1140 AM. The legendary KYOK 92.3 FM. Radio stations in one.
You're home. You're a diabetic. You need supplies, but you don't want to visit the pharmacy. What do? Call US Med for home delivery of your supplies. If you have diabetes and you're worried about going to a crowded pharmacy, pick up the phone in the safety and comfort of your home and let US Med deliver them to you with free shipping. And now if you test your blood sugar 4 more times a day and inject insulin 3 or more times a day, you may qualify to get a new continuous glucose monitor at little or no cost, which may eliminate the pain of pricking your fingers and helps you make smarter diabetes decisions. Plus, we'll send you a 90-day supply and bill your insurance company for you. Get some peace of mind. Call US Med today.
800-417-0851. 800-417-0851. That's 800-417-0851.
I'm Larry Scott, host of the Not So Christian and Me show. Join me Saturdays for great fun, interviews, music, and the latest news surrounding our world today. We are the show that cares to hear your voice and opinion with real conversation in a no judgment zone. So join me Saturdays from 1 to 2 p.m. on the Not So Christian and Me show, right here on the legendary KYOK Radio, 1140 AM, and the all-new 92.3 FM and KYOKradio.org.
Beautiful people, this is Major. This is why I love you on the lunch break.
Don't forget, on Wednesdays, you'll have a chance to win gift certificates from Butterball Turkey. That's right. $25 gift certificate. All you got to do is sign it when you check out of the store, and you can use it towards anything. But you'll get a chance to win it right here on Wednesdays on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK, courtesy of Butterball and KYOK. All right. Kris Gardner, we are back, and man, you messed me up for today.
Wasn't my intention.
I wanted you to make it make sense.
Real.
I'm like Keith. It just don't make sense. It don't make sense.
And what it shows is any contract can be traded.
Yeah.
We always seem like need to be reminded of it because we look at the huge salary involved. But I mean, Chris Paul got traded for Russ.
Yeah.
Now Russ apparently wants to be traded again, and goes back when if Wilt could be traded, anybody can be traded. Absolutely. So doesn't matter now how much salaries are. Teams, I could see Russ in New York because it's New York, but the Knicks don't have anything that I would want in return. Charlotte doesn't have anything I want in return. That draft pick and the contracts, I was looking at salaries. Nicholas Batum could work for Russ, and a pick and Batum from Charlotte for Russ because the Hornets have the cap space to take back, Russ's salary. Mm-hmm. But the Hornets aren't the Heat.
Right.
They aren't the Bucks. Russ is not going to make that much of a difference to get them on that level. So why would Russ want to do that? Yeah. If you can demand where you want to go, Charlotte would not be on top of my list.
Wouldn't be there. And I don't know if he's got some affection for Jordan that we don't know about, that he would want to play for Michael or try and get, Charlotte to that next level that they haven't been in a while, because there was something about he wanted to go back to that leadership role that he had at Oklahoma City. I don't know, but bringing him back. Let's do this. Let's move all that to the side. Let's look at free agency coming up on the 20th. 5 o'clock our time. Who realistically would be a target for this Rockets team to bring in, which ain't gonna take a whole lot of money, to bring in to try and add value to the team if you still have a Russell Westbrook and you still have a James Harden?
The ifs are too big. I can't answer that because I don't know if Russ is going to be here. I mean, they really have to decide what they're going to do soon because it impacts free agency. Right. And honestly, what free agent who is legit good,
right,
would want to come here based on that uncertainty?
That's true. You're right.
So whoever it is, it's just, you got to, I mean, if I'm a free agent mid-tier because, top tier wants too much money, I'm a player and his agent. Okay, we'll consider you, but what are you going to do about Russ and Harden? I don't want to go there and then you trade both of them and we're starting over. What player what veteran want to do that?
Right. That's true.
So they really have to decide soon how they're going to handle all of this. That's why I say the leverage is kind of bad right now, and it's going to impact their decisions and what they're going to do in terms of the trade. If they do trade Russ for a draft pick, who they're going to take in the draft, or will they trade that pick to get more picks, or to put that draft pick in another trade to try to get back a superstar talent that James would like to play with, side by side. And then if you don't do that, then who are you going to look at in free agency?
Right.
Well, if you're going to trade Russ, that impacts who you're going to get, who you can sign and convince to sign. So the timing of all this is strange. It's not good for the franchise, but they need to make a decision of what they're going to do.
Yeah. Kris Gardner, Houston Roundball Review, joining us. I'm looking on here. They're talking about the Orlando Magic as a possible trade partner, Nikolai Vucevic, Aaron Gordon, or Evan Fournier. But, I mean, again, like you said, neither one of those guys is going to be and I don't know if they have no trade clauses or what have you, but neither one of those guys are guys that I could see playing happily next to James Harden. None of them. Not a single one, if they would even let them go. Washington Wizards. What in the world would the Rockets get from the Washington Wizards that would be of any kind of value? And then the fifth one on here is the San Antonio Spurs. Harden and DeMar DeRozan.
I mean, it already apparently failed once with the California connection with James and Russ. So James and DeMar, why would that be any different? They're both Cali fellas, brothers and friends for a while. The Wizards, they have one player. I'm not sure they could do it in terms of the Rockets because of their, cap situation. But the Wizards, power forward Davis Bertans, stretch 4, 3-point shooter. He would fit. I think he would be a good fit here personnel-wise. But I'm not sure that the Wizards could sign and trade him to make it work cap-wise. I'm not as strong on salary cap like I used to be back in the day. But from a fit, he would be a good fit here because he seems to be a kind of a stretch 4 philosophy that Stephen Silas would like to utilize in his offense.
Yeah.
But with the Wizards, it's Bradley Beal's team. You got Brad Beal, John Wall. They won't Russ. Well, I mean, what would that work?
Do that, yeah.
Orlando has young pieces and they don't have stars. I mean, you'd get youth in return.
Yeah.
I mean, that would be a help because Rockets don't have any young players on the club right now.
The only thing I'd say about Orlando, they've been running one of our former I just drew a blank on the name of the school, the Hurricanes down there in Fort Bend. DJ Augustine.
Hightower. Yeah.
Thank you. DJ Augustine, I love him to life, but I got Russ Westbrook. He's immediately my point guard, and Augustine's not a 2. So, that would be an upgrade for them. But what would the Rockets get in return for sending Westbrook to Orlando would be the question. Because you got to get back.
Right. And I'll toss this out as a Pistons fan, and yes, I am a Pistons fan, have been for 30 plus years. I don't want Russ with Detroit because 3 years, $130 million. But in the Pistons roster, they don't. I know for a fact they don't have anything that the Rockets could use now. Immediately, the draft pick is a 7th pick in the first round. Yeah, I mean, if that's what you can get, but maybe Luke Kennard and a draft pick, there's not enough talent on the Pistons roster that would help the Rockets justify trading Russ. Tony Snell has a player option of $12 million, which he will do. No player in his position is going to say, no, I don't want that kind of money. So, I mean, they could make it work because Troy Weaver is a new GM with Detroit from OKC. So he and Russ go back years with the time at OKC. So that's one of the reasons I think Detroit has been mentioned. But Detroit's owner, Tom Gores, is kind of like Tillman, loves superstars. He really pushed for the Blake Griffin trade, despite Blake Griffin's body being broke down and was injury prone then. So it would not help me as a Pistons fan, but it wouldn't shock me if Tom Gores pushed for that trade to get Russ in Detroit. And then you have Russ and Blake Griffin. It'd be good for like a month. Yeah. And then somebody's body breaks down, and then you're stuck with Russ's contract for 2 more years because he has 1 more year longer than Blake does on his contract. So the Rockets will find a deal. It's just a question of how much they can get back in return for Russ.
Any chance that Russ ends up in LA with the Lakers and not the Clippers?
But who do the Lakers have that they could trade to make it work cap-wise? The max, LeBron and AD are max, and everybody else is pretty much, they have Kentavious Caldwell-Pope. I think KCP is a free agent, but he, because of player option, he's coming off, he got a ring now.
Yeah.
So he may want $20 million a year.
Right.
His
price just went up.
Yeah. So the Rockets' leverage is lacking. So they're not going to get dollar for dollar back for Russ. Just a question of how close to that dollar can you get?
Yeah. Give me some good news, man. Talk to me about U of H basketball or something. Help me out.
That's good news, AJ. That is good news. Coach Sampson's, the men's team, ranked 18th, tied with Florida State in the coaches poll, USA Today poll, and they ranked 17th in the AP poll. So that's about where I have them. And if I did polls like that, I'm not knocking fans or anything like that. I'm media, so being ranked preseason is good for marketing. Is good for promotion. Is good for fan interest to drum up in the squad. Yeah. But any coach and most players will tell you, it's not where you start, it's where you finish.
Right. I thought it was nice recognition of a job well done by Kelvin Sampson, that staff, and the hard work that the team has done. I mean, bro, when you talk about stars, U of H doesn't have them. But some kind of way, they end up right about there, when it's all said and done. And
but they're getting there with stars, AJ. I don't want to put undue pressure on him just yet.
Talk to me.
But freshman Tremont Mark from Dickinson High School, who I'm going to tout because I'm on the committee, winner of the 2020 Guy V. Lewis Award, goes to the top high school boys player in the area. Tremont Mark, he is the real deal. Okay. He is the real deal. And he's a freshman, obviously, so, ups and downs in practice.
Yeah.
But I've heard that there have been practices where he's been the best player in practice.
Okay. All right.
So Tremont Mark from Dickinson. And not, in a Coach Sampson team, he's got to play defense.
Right.
Don't play D, you don't play.
Yeah.
So he's learning how to do that, learning how to compete, diving on the floor for loose balls and taking charges. But versatility on offense, he can play the 1 and the 2. Tremont Mark. And I'm not saying he's going to light it up in November and December. I think with staff and how they develop players, come February and March, you will know his name.
All right. I like it. See, that's why we have to have you on like every Thursday. Like every Thursday, you need to come on through.
I'm good with that.
Bro, don't play.
I'm good with that. Yeah.
We can make it work. Down, bro. We'll just do it, man. We'll just do it because basketball's coming up, and obviously we're gonna have plenty to talk about with your Houston Rockets. And I do. I love Coach Sampson. I love that he, got another shot because, to me, he got slapped hard for text messages and nonsense when you got folks that's out there criminalizing the game, Bill Self. But anyway, I'm glad to see him doing well. He's a good coach, very good coach.
And let me toss out there, because I let you know when you invited me yesterday to come on today. The Zoom call today was with the U of H women's team.
Okay, tell me.
And I want to say to listeners, if you saw Chandy Jones play at U of H 2002, 3, 4, Coach Ronald Hughey, current head coach of the U of H women's basketball team, has said a few times now that freshman Layla Blair from Waller High School has the potential to be on that Chandy Jones level.
That's high praise.
Chandy Jones has her number 13 hanging in Fertitta Center.
That's right.
So Coach Hughey says Layla Blair has that kind of potential and ability. She can do a little bit of everything. She can shoot, she can score. You're trying to get her to play direct the offense some as well. She's in the gym all the time.
Mm-hmm.
He told us that they mentioned today in the media session, she has taken 10,000 shots a month. 10,000 shots a month. I think next closest to her on the team is like 6,000.
Wow.
She's
like that kind of
always in the gym. So yes, she always wants to get better, and she puts God first.
Okay.
So no question who is guiding her life.
Yeah.
So you can see her on Twitter, what she believes, and she is strong in her faith, and her ability matches her faith. So yes, Layla Blair from Waller High School, Coach Hughey says she could be the one to help return. This is me talking now. She could be the one to help U of H women's basketball get back on the map where it used to be back in Chandy Jones days.
That's what's up. That's what's up. I like it. Layla Blair. Y'all heard it here first from the Houston Roundball Review and Kris Gardner. And we're gonna be watching her now, bro. You know that.
Hey, that's fine.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to seeing her play. So yeah, I mean, well, COVID is going to dictate how we can see her play, but just remember that name, Layla Blair.
Have you checked in with the coach over there at U of H? I mean, not U of H, over at TSU.
Which one, Coach Jones or Coach Cooper?
Coach Cooper. You know, I'm trying to see what she got going on. We know Coach Jones is going to be all right.
She's got talent. They were picked second preseason in the SWAC. Coach Jones and the fellows were picked first to win the SWAC. But Nia Mitchell for a Coops team is coming back. She came back, which was good news because last season, at the end of last season, she had the option because of a redshirting and medical redshirt that she could have decided to go pro, go overseas. But she's coming back to finish out her college career, and her return with who they have coming in. Coops got squad over there, AJ.
Okay. All right. I got to get her on the show. I missed her when she was, up there off of 290.
Mm-hmm.
And now she's back in the state. I got to get her on the show. So I have to figure it out. I gotta sneak in the athletic facility over there and drop her a link for my StreamYard and see if we can't get her on the show.
Well, maybe I could put in a good word for you there, brother.
Brother, I'll make that macaroni and cheese for you. You can just put your name on it. I know what I'm doing around that macaroni and cheese.
Okay.
I didn't want to say nothing on the phone.
Hey, because I'm still gonna try to shoot my shot with who. So
If you don't, I'm gonna be mad at you. Kris, tell everybody where they can find you and follow you, brother.
HoustonRoundballReview.com. HoustonRoundballReview.com. I'm on Twitter at THEHR Review. Also, Houston Roundball Review on Instagram and YouTube. So I'm out there. Articles, videos, audio, MP3, podcasts are on there. And yesterday, AJ, I kind of outdid myself, if I can, brother.
Yeah, go ahead.
I had an article about Baylor women, because yesterday was the first day of the fall signing period. So I had an article about Baylor, article about Texas women, article about the Aggies women. All three of them signed players. Article about Rice women, Rice men. 2 articles about U of H men. And then, of course, the day ended with Russ, news about Russ. So HoustonRoundballReview.com, men's and women's basketball, college and pro. I'm unlike any other. Sometimes I wonder if I have too much on my plate, but I find a way to get it done. So Houston Roundballreview.com.
I'm telling you, that should be your source for basketball, all things basketball. Man, I appreciate you, brother. You just don't know how much we value your input and your knowledge. So we will see you next Thursday.
It's marked down, brother. I got you. Thank you, man.
Thanks, Kris. Have a good rest of your day, brother.
You too. Take care.
All right, y'all. Y'all got it right here. Houston Roundball Reviews on Kris Gardner, giving us a scoop, making it make sense, and giving us an update on a lot what's going on around the city and state in basketball. So y'all be sure to check him out. Be sure and follow him. HoustonRoundballReview.com, HoustonRoundballReview.com, or TheHRR.com. I'm telling you, you'll be glad you did. Let me take a break, and we'll come back. We'll talk about some of these NFL games next, right here on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK.
Again, I say unto you, if two of you shall agree on earth as touching anything, it shall be done for them by my Father who is in heaven. For where two or three are gathered together in my name, there am I in the midst of them. Matthew 18, 19, and 20. That's the gospel. And we're KYOK, 1140 AM and 92.3 FM.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's AJ Jones with the lunch break on the legendary KYOK AM 1140 and 92.3 FM. It's that time of year when we are reminded of all the things we should be thankful for, and that it's more blessed to give than to receive. So with that in mind, on Wednesdays from now through Christmas, we'll give you a chance to win a gift certificate from Butterball. That's right, you can win a gift certificate for a Butterball turkey on Wednesdays on the lunch break between 12 and 2. Just be the right caller, and your Butterball turkey will be on us at the legendary KYOK AM 1140 at 92.3.
You're listening to 1140 AM and 92.3 FM, the legendary KYOK.
You love your dog. Is something bothering him or her and you can't figure out what it is? Maybe they seem slow or lethargic, and maybe they just don't have energy. Wouldn't you like your dog to be living their very best life? PetJoy offers a money-back guarantee on all of its products. If your dog won't eat it or you don't see the results you want, just let us know and we'll make it right. Totally risk-free. What do you have to lose? You can't buy PetJoy multivitamins in a store. The only way you can get them is through this unique radio offer. And if you call right now, learn how to get 2 bottles free with your order. Turn your dog's life around and make him or her a happy camper. Ain't that right, boy? He said call PetJoy right now. 800-296-1459. 800-296-1459. 800-296-1459. That's 800-296-1459.
This is a potter's field. When people can't pay for their funerals, they are buried here. It is a lonely, desolate place, littered with unmarked headstones. No one visits. No one leaves flowers. But it doesn't have to be that way. For as low as $1 a day, you can ensure your family will have the money to pay your funeral expenses. We offer burial insurance plans that pay up to $30,000. Considering the average funeral costs more than $10,000, that's peace of mind for your family. There are no medical exams, your rates won't increase, and your policy cannot be canceled as long as you make your premium payments. Call now to get approved in minutes and ensure your final resting place is more than just a pauper's grave in a potter's field.
800-308-6729. 800-308-6729. 800-308-6729. That's 800-308-6729. Paid for by Final Expense Direct.
I am a non-attorney spokesperson representing a team of lawyers who help people that have been injured or wronged. If you've been involved in a serious car, truck, or motorcycle accident, or injured at work, you have rights, and you may be entitled to money for your suffering. Don't accept an offer you get from an insurance company until you talk to a lawyer. And we represent some of the best personal injury lawyers you can find. Tough lawyers that will fight to win your case. And they're so good they stake their reputation on it by only getting paid if you win. So if you've been in a serious car, truck, or motorcycle accident or hurt on the job, find out today for free what kind of compensation you may be entitled to. Call the legal helpline right now.
800-547-4170. 800-547-4170. 800-547-4170. That's 800-547-4170.
My name is Devon McDonald from Jamaica, live with Indianapolis Colts, and listen, you listen to the lunch break.
All right, y'all, we're back here on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK and the all-new 92.3 FM. Again, want to appreciate Kris Gardner for coming on. Want to appreciate Dr. Aki Davis for coming on. Definitely want to appreciate Longhorn Keith for calling in, Ferdinand for calling in. You guys just don't know how much y'all make the show. All right, let's talk a little football, and I got to give you some love about Southern University. I had a Southern shirt, but it didn't have Southern on it, so I want to appreciate Opie for hooking me up over at African Imports. Again, got the shirt. Not only does it have the Southern information on the front, but it's got all the HBCU information on the back. So you got to go over there and check out Opie, because he says he's going to have every single HBCU school in over there. Southern University, or better known as SUBR or SU, is over there in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. They were established April 10th, 1880. And they've got a $9.4 million endowment. The president and chancellor is Ray Belton. They've got about 7,091 students. Again, located in Baton Rouge. They are Columbia Blue and Gold, and they are known as the Jaguars or the Lady Jags, and they are a member of the SWAC. And again, if you're looking for a good school for you, your child, your grandchild, niece, nephew, somebody that means a lot to you, you might want to consider Southern University. Very good education over there at Southern. Mel Blount, Southern University. My aunt, Anita Thomas, Southern University. So, yeah, I know a lot about Southern University. In fact, my son was there at Southern University for a while, and his cousin told on him, said, yo, man, he ain't even going to class. I said, what's he up there doing? Dating? Like dating Ohio? He said, no, dating like girls. I'm thinking how much I'm paying for tuition. I had to drive up there and say, son, listen, I'll put you on the premium, Match.com, eHarmony, Black People Meet, Plenty of Fish, you name it. I'll put you on the premium on all of that, but we can't pay tuition for you to date. You got to go to school. So I had to pull him on out of there, drop him over at that other Southern. He was at Southern Suno, a little cheaper. He ended up finishing up. But all that light-skinnedness got him, Keith. Longhorn Keith, all that light-skinned, that Creole, that share, he was confused. I had to pull him on out of there. Felicia Yolanda Green Johnson, doctoral candidate, said, that's what I'm talking about, all HBCUs. That's how they do it over there at African Imports. That's how they do it over there. All right, listen, let me give you this real quick football updates, all right? For those who still want to get in on the Lunch Break Weekly, Keeping Up with the Joneses Pick'em Challenge. You get my information because yesterday Milo took the cash prize. Milo got the money yesterday. Let's see, I got it here. Week number 9, right? Week number 9. That was week 8. Here it is, week number 9. Milo was the winner. He got $50 courtesy of 123 Resolution Consultants. All right, let me do it again. 123 Credit Resolution Consultants. And again, he won it with an 11-3 in a 4-way tiebreaker. And the top 10, again, number 1, Ferdinand. Number 2, Milo. Number 3, Alexis. Number 4 is let me see, Big Mike. Tied at number 5, you got Merrick, you got Chi-Town, and you got Keisha Kelly. And then at number 8, you got Keith Hennick and Amber. And at number 10, you got Jessica and Mark. So there we go. Everybody's within reach right there. Again, the top 6 will go on to win $50 in the lunch break weekly. I'm sorry, the top 6 will go on to compete for $500 in the playoff round. So you want to be in that top 6, okay? All right, and all you got to do is get your picks to me by, got to have your picks by 6 o'clock tonight. You can text them to me, 832-403-5005, or you can email them, aj@kyoksports.com. Pick all the games from tonight through Monday night, and on the Monday night game, give me who you think is going to win and what the final score will be. The final score for both teams, not just the total, but the final score for both teams. That'll be the tiebreaker, and somebody will win $50 this week. All right? All right, there you go. Now, let me get to the games and what I think is going to happen. Tonight, you got Indianapolis at Tennessee. Anytime you have a Phillip Rivers-led team, you're going to have what? Say it with me, Nathan Peterman's. Anytime you have a Phillip Rivers-led team, you're going to have Nathan Peterman's. Those are called interceptions. And that boy turns the ball over too much. Tennessee is going to take advantage of that, and they're going to win that game. Then you got Houston at Cleveland. As much as I want to believe in the Texans in this one, I think Cleveland shows up and shows out in that running game, and I don't think Baker Mayfield turns the ball over this weekend. I think Cleveland wins a close one. Jacksonville at Green Bay. That rookie's going to find out the hard way that Green Bay defense ain't no joke. Green Bay's going to win that one by a lot. Cincinnati at Pittsburgh. Man, I sure believe in Joe Burrow. I'm not a fan of the coach in Cincinnati. I think my boy Mike Tomlin leads his team to yet another victory. They go 9-0 after this week. San Francisco 4-5 at New Orleans 6-2. New Orleans will be 7-2 after this game. But let me tell you something, man. New Orleans is subject to a letdown after that big win that they had the other night. But I don't think they let down at home too much against San Francisco, especially with the backup quarterback, backup tight end, and some other loose spots on San Francisco. Saints win that one. Tampa Bay at Carolina. Again, Tom Brady and the Buccaneers will probably come out strong and bounce back. But here's what I got to say. That Carolina defense is pretty good. I don't know what they're going to do in place of Christian McCaffrey, but they played without him before. I think Carolina is going to win a close one at home and send Tampa Bay to their second straight loss. Washington at Detroit. I want Washington to win. Because I don't want Matt Patricia to hang around much longer than he needs to. We'll see. We'll see if Washington can do that on the road. That will be a tough win. Philadelphia at the Giants. I'm going with the Giants. Philadelphia hasn't shown me anything, and they haven't shown you anything either. They should win. I'm going with the Giants. Buffalo at Arizona. That's going to be one of the matchups of the weekend. I think Buffalo, Josh Allen, is he for real? The defense is pretty legit. But Arizona is the truth. That young man, Kyler Murray, is playing at a better than average level. I think Arizona wins it at home. Denver at Las Vegas. Chargers at Miami. I'm going Miami, but if the Chargers only learn how to finish off a game, they would be much better. They're 2-6. I'm going Miami in that one. Seattle at the Rams. Again, a inter-division matchup. It's going to be a battle for the top spot in the division. A lot of folks like to write Seattle off. They're 6-2. They've lost 2 games. They will not lose this Sunday. Baltimore at New England. That's a trap game. I think New England. Yeah, I'm not saying it, Willie. Thanks for trying, though. Thank you for trying. They're going to win in spite of the head coach in Arizona. I appreciate you, though. I caught you big time. Man, I just feel like Bill Belichick and them are going to come up with something. Wait a minute. Hold on. Keith Hennick, don't make me block you for 30 seconds and then unblock you. That is like not good. I'm gonna put a frowny face on Keith Hennick's post. He said a name that I'm not going to say. I'm just not going to say his name. That's what I'm going to do. But anyway, I want to say Baltimore is going to win that New England game, but it's going to be a hard-hitting game. And I want to believe that Cam Newton is going to play his best and they're going to pull it out. I'm going to go ahead and give that one to Baltimore. And then on Monday night, Minnesota at Chicago. Again, I'll give it to the Bears. So there you go. Let me go through all these real fast without any commentary. I've got Tennessee over the Colts. I've got Cleveland over Houston, Green Bay over Jacksonville, Pittsburgh over Cincinnati, New Orleans over San Francisco. I've got Tampa over Carolina, Washington over Detroit, Giants over Philly, Arizona over Buffalo, Vegas over Denver, Miami over the Chargers, Seahawks over the Rams, Baltimore over the Patriots, and Bears over the Vikings. There you go. That's what I got. All right, let me get out of here, man. I ain't fooling with Willie Gibson and Keith Hennig. They're trying to make me say a name I don't want to say. Let me get Sybil Wilkes on here with our COVID-19 update, and then we'll go ahead and wrap this one up. We will go ahead and wrap this one up right here on the lunch break. I got special guests joining me tomorrow. Don't forget to tune into tomorrow's show. It's going to be a good one. Yeah, you'll get to meet some folks that really are doing some great things. So looking forward to tomorrow's show. But you know me, as always, let's not be divided. Let's be united. I truly do love you, and there's nothing you can do about it except wear your mask, wash your hands. Man, listen, give people 6 feet. I was in the drugstore today picking up my prescription for that last of that little cold, and I'm on one of the spots that you're supposed to stand on, and I kept looking at the guy behind me. Dude, there's a spot right there. Stand on your spot. Be standing over my shoulder. We ain't together. Please give people 6 feet. And whatever you do, when you see that racism, kill it. Not the person, the racism. Y'all be blessed out there. Here's Sybil Wilkes.
Folks, with what you need to know today. More than a week after the presidential election, Georgia Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger announced the official recount of 5 million ballots cast in that state during the contest. The goal is to complete the recount of all 159 counties by the Georgia certification deadline, Friday, November 20th. President-elect Joe Biden and his transition team are moving forward with preparations to take control of the federal government. Meanwhile, Secretary of State Mike Pompeo responded to a question about the transition by saying there would be a smooth transition to a second Trump administration. This week, the U.S. hit a record number of coronavirus hospitalizations and reported 1 million new confirmed cases in just the first 10 days of November. The latest surge of infections has prompted several governors to set curfews and require masks indoors while urging residents to voluntarily shelter in place. Please visit SybilWilkes.com to subscribe to my free daily newsletter. Be informed, be empowered.
All right, y'all. I got to get ready to go, man. Yeah, Desiree, they got to learn how to stand on their spots, man. They be all up on my spot. We ain't riding here together. You can't stand by me. Keith, thanks so much. Y'all have a blessed rest of your day. Again, tomorrow will be Freestyle Friday. Got special guests going to be joining me. I want to thank Willie Gibson for hooking me up with one. And again, we look forward to tomorrow. As always, not this, definitely this. I do. I love y'all. Nothing you can do about it. Y'all stay blessed, though, and safe, all right? And give people 6 feet. Stay on your